let us in, nah, nah, let us in, nah, nah. I got knowledge, I got wisdom, they my friends, nah, nah, let us in, nah, nah, let us in, nah, nah. I got knowledge, I got wisdom, they my friends, nah, nah. Fuck being humble, I'm the only way to coast. I'm feeling this way too long.
Episode 7. You already know what it is.
You already know what that means. That's 7.
That's Soul by the Sound.
So what's good? Hope you guys having a great Sunday afternoon. That's what it is when you see this. How are you? How things been?
Yeah, everything's everything. We living. Peace to the Negus. Peace to the Davas. Peace to the Netters. Peace to the the Acers. Let's bring up the Acers. Peace to the Acers. All the divines, nigga. We in this bitch.
Yes, sir.
It's gang.
So we've been doing this consistently every week, bringing up new topics. One we kind of touched on in probably previous episodes, disinformation agents. You know, we haven't really elaborated into it or even built on it too much. So I just wanted to, build on where did this originate from and why?
What,
That's what,
misinformation?
yeah, when I say an agent, it's usually like say it's somebody that's sent in a community to be that person. And we were having a completely different discussion off camera, but you were saying like it would take one. I forget what we were talking about, but you said something about like it could take one person that you convince. Say when they were spreading Christianity.
Oh yeah, with
the
the
world.
Vatican. That was the example I
They
was
found
using.
one person in the tribe, and then that one person, he goes back, and whether they believe him or not, but the whatever they're trying to spread
That
is there
seed
now.
is sown though, and then he convinces people who are not of the strong willed, or at least believe in the same thing as the rest of the tribe as well, or have questions, and you start preying on that what's the word I'm looking for? That that lack of trust or that wanting to know more. So when they prey on that, that's where you could be led to different shit, not necessarily good shit, but you could be swayed to a different way just because it's something you haven't heard before. And if you don't have anything that you've experienced necessarily that can counteract that, or that counteract that thought, you're gonna go with it, especially
Right.
if you're searching for something new or something more, because why? It's something you haven't experienced yet.
Okay.
So I didn't want to bring up the Christians as an example, but boy, y'all be doing a goddamn number. What can I say?
And it's everybody can relate to that using those examples. We just trying to reach everybody.
Oh, we could even use the Hindu culture and stuff. Um, how they made the classism and shit.
Right.
Somebody
Yeah.
some fool had to agree on that shit, and
Right.
then start spreading the lies to other people. Because before, Hinduism wasn't that. Hinduism wasn't classes. It was just a mythology.
And apparently, like that was one of the world's first systems where they did that to people. Right. Took
Mm-hmm.
mythology and did that. So
Mm-hmm.
this can go a lot of different ways. One thing I thought about as you were speaking was how. Okay, is that a could this be a positive thing?
What?
Sending a dis. I guess it would be more like an antichrist or whatever. Say, you
Why
know,
you gotta start saying Antichrist? They're gonna take that shit the wrong way. Cause like I said, it can be a Christ figure. A Christ figure goes against what's out there, does he not? Same way the Antichrist figure is going against what's out there. So
okay.
you could just say Christ figure.
But you send them into a community, and then like, how would they say what he's saying is right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you send them out. That would be the same thing as a disinformation agent, right? Well, not disinformation, but
Misinformation. It could be, but it's not misinformation because in that case, they were being taught misinformation their whole lives.
Yeah.
And then here comes this figure coming to show you the correct way to move about this motherfucker.
I guess what I'm saying is, being in the other people's shoes, you heard something your whole life,
Mm-hmm.
haven't, maybe a couple people realize, hey, maybe this isn't all that accurate, or you do know that I know there's more than this. Then you have one person or two people come along telling you everything you knew was crap, but
Mm-hmm.
everybody you're around to, your tribe and your clan or whatever, is telling you, no, this person's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
That's a difficult place to be.
But it also goes like, see, there's so many angles to take this at,
Yeah,
because
yeah, it
it could
is.
also just be different strokes for different folks.
Folks.
Because maybe their lives went great going about it in this fashion, but for you, you feel compelled, like, hey, I need to go about it like this. If my whole clan is saying, oh, we can't grow hair, but I feel comfortable and more powerful growing my hair, then I need to walk or be aligned with people who feel this way.
Okay.
But that's where, like I said, misinformation can come in, because some people could be so desperate just to hear something new that as soon as they hear something new, they just accept it because it's just different than what they don't want to hear. And sometimes that's fully detrimental, because
Yeah.
you're just being rebellious at that point. You're not actually searching out for anything.
And I think that ties in full circle to what kind of goes on now. This is
Mm.
the reason why one of the reasons we even had this topic, a discussion, because it's like, how how can you distinguish between the two? Like, say, as a person who does know, hey, I know this isn't right, but this person's saying this. How can you tell what their angle is? Are they trying to do this because, hey, I want everybody to follow my madness, or is it coming from a genuine place?
There's two ways to go about it, and having both would be best. Number one, have a spirit of discernment, bro.
Discernment.
Like, ask the God in you for a spirit of discernment to know
Right.
when bullshit is being played in your face. Because there are a lot of people talking a nice game or a good game, and they don't have anything positive for you. They literally just trying to suck your energy. Literally.
Okay.
And then you could just read more. It's not like back in like Vatican times when they were like trying to keep the controls, that they were burning books and shit. These books are here. It's up to you to take these books and read all these different books and get your own thoughts. Because you're not going to read one book and be like, hey, this is the end all be all. Because there could be somebody who takes it from a different perspective, and you need to have a full view of all the perspectives to have what's the word I'm looking for, to have a, let's say a, let's say a more accurate analysis of the situation.
Um, I had a thought as you were just speaking. In our community, niggas don't really read like that. Even
I
the
mean, the
ones,
black coat.
yeah, the black cult, like my people, we don't read as much. I mean, niggas will read if it's something to do with getting some money. You'll read that bitch from the index to the goddamn back credits.
But for
But for
the eternal soul, I ain't got time.
yeah, yeah, we mostly don't have time.
Or
Um,
you say you don't
you
have time.
you
It's
make
not
time for
real.
what you want to make time for.
Exactly.
Uh, and damn, I'm kind of losing my train of thought, but cause it's so many ways to go with this. But I'm just thinking, we don't read, so it's easy for somebody to come in this community and just sound smart, is what I've always noticed. Whether it was the preacher man, or a nigga talking about he's in the black consciousness, or a nigga who's like trying to give you advice on financial information, they will always lack giving you that scholarship. And the reason why I can say I know that, because some of the men and women, or ancestors that came before us with this type of information and knowledge, they were usually giving us scholarship and telling you, hey, if a motherfucker talk about follow me and he not giving you no books, not giving you no authors, not giving you direct sources, don't listen to him. But that's few and far between. A lot of us aren't getting that.
Yeah.
So, and when we were saying, disinformation and people coming into the community, whether what their motive is, you can usually tell off bat what they're about, whether they're trying to do it because they're a sociopath or not. But it's just red flags that are just usually, this is what it is. This nigga ain't giving you no books. He's talking about well, when I'm not trying to name names, but it was one guy recently who was on the internet talking about he was conscious and shit, talking about the birds were doggone drones and they weren't real, and people actually believed that. He didn't give
That's
any information. He
and
didn't
that's
give any sources.
but that's what I was gonna say before while you were explaining that because people don't read, especially the black cult, they're more susceptible to misinformation because they don't know anything else. So when they hear something that, like I said, sounds good, they're gonna go with it. Why? Because it's something new to them that sounds good. They don't have any other knowledge to back it up and be like, wait, that doesn't make sense because I know this, that. You only know, like Bobby said, those who know one book know none,
None. Sheesh.
and that reverberates when you only have read something like the Bible or some stupid books like To Kill a Mockingbird and shit like that.
Or you read the Quran. It, niggas read the Bible. Niggas
The
read the
Bible, the
Quran and feel like
Quran,
they know.
whatever. You read one
Yeah.
fucking book, one fucking holy book, and you think, okay, this is the end all be all. You gon' get used,
True.
whether
So
by another spirit or a person.
elaborate on that. That's kind of deep.
No, because
Shit.
remember when you don't
That's deep.
when you don't know your enemies, what do they become? They become fucking ninjas to you niggas. They become. They become. All right, we back like cook crack.
Yes, sir.
Yo.
All right. You were elaborating on not knowing your enemy, so they become like ninjas. They basically are like, they're just hidden in the shadows. But that enemy usually ends up being yourself at the end of the day.
In a sense, because I was saying, you become susceptible to spirits or people just taking control of you. And because you don't know how people work, because you have never read that much, to learn different personalities that come out of people. Because all these books and shit tell you about different personalities of people and how they run, because these are real things.
It's like you take a book and you use it in the field of study. I know sometimes they say, oh, life can't be written in a book.
It can.
But yeah, it can. Especially when you know how to use what you've learned in these books and apply it out in the so-called real world. You do it every day.
With that saying, if if life can't be written in a book, how was it orated back in the day?
How is
Like, it was just told over and over through speaking stories and shit. Then somebody who obviously had a memory problem started writing all this shit down. So life was and is completely written down all the time. That's how we have so many books. That's why we have the stories we have now. Nigga, life can't be written in a book. Nigga, have you read a news article?
right?
Is that not life written down? So people say that's silly. Just find excuses not to read.
Yeah, that's how I always felt it came off as. But you can't really. You're so used to people saying shit like that and thinking that way that it just is like, I feel like it's wrong, but hey, I'm the bad guy in this sense.
Exactly. But that's susceptibility. When you don't know your enemy, you become easily susceptible to their tactics. Why? Because you don't know how they move. You don't know their tactics. If you even know of tactics, have you read a book about tactics?
Damn it.
Have you experienced tactics? If you have not
Yeah.
done one of the two, you will be susceptible to tactics.
Yes.
That's just how it works. So that's why I say you have to have that spirit of discernment, and you have to read other things to expand your mind and empower, as the Christians would say, that spirit man. How we would say the God inside you.
Okay.
Because without that empowerment, you're always going to be used by somebody. And then all that energy that you could have been using to build your dream, build your destiny, it's now being used to empower somebody else's who may not even have anything positive for your life.
Okay. For those out there viewing this, I know you probably heard, fill your own cup, worry about yourself, take care of you, all these cliches. I'm kind of tired of that shit, but it's true. What does that actually mean? Like, we've all been victim to being used by somebody, being manipulated by somebody, but you could always tell something was off. But you want to believe the person in cases you'll come. I guess that's a spirit of discernment where you come to the person or the situation asking and inquiring because you felt something was off.
Mm-hmm.
The enemy knows that.
Mm-hmm.
That's some sick shit. The enemy knows how you are because they were once like that. They were once somebody who felt things. They knew they were off, and they were just trying to find honest answers. But I guess out here it doesn't work like that. Using that discernment, you. I'm just trying to figure out what is the proper way to use discernment. Because those of us who grew up in Christianity, if you didn't read that Bible, that just sound like an old saying.
Like, if the whole way to use of spirit of discernment is, like you said, keep asking questions, inquiring. If something in your heart or your stomach is telling you, yo, this shit ain't right, you need to question that whole situation.
Yeah,
And it's easier if you're more upfront about it and just confront the person or
yeah,
the object that you're having issue with, instead of trying to create scenarios in your head, because those scenarios may not be real.
yeah.
And then you're creating what? Another false narrative in your head, thus creating misinformation. Then you become one of the fucking
Agents,
agents.
thank you. This is
You
how it
become
ties.
fucking Agent Smith, nigga.
I was about to say you can become one. I've become one in some instances before. I don't know if you, at some point, have gave somebody some false information and ended up being playing that part in this type of consciousness. But I'm speaking from experience. I have, like, you guys are familiar with my background. I was a Jehovah's Witness. Like, that, it gets no more confusing and just all over the place than that, honestly. Especially if you really have a pure heart and want to know the truth, boy, you just gonna get, game is gonna get ran on your ass a
Straight
lot.
up.
So you gotta watch yourself with that too, because not, we're not just playing victim. Oh, there's agents all over, agents here and there. We gave you the scenarios of historical groups where that's actually happened and stuff, but that could just happen within yourself. You can become your own worst enemy. You can become the disinformation agent, believing lies and shit because they sound good.
And also with that, you could become a misinformation agent. There could be misinformation agents around you. But you yourself can become the antithesis or the antithesis behind all this misinformation. You could say, fuck this misinformation, and be the one to drop the science on niggas.
That's why we kind of. That's one reason we're doing this. You know,
To be the antithesis,
yeah,
bro.
I feel like we live by that. We talk about it in our art, our music, but just having a conversation like this and wanting to get you guys' feedback and interaction with it, that's a part of that. You're a part of that. You might have been spreading disinformation. What I noticed that, especially in, like, with black conscious people, your heart is in the right place. You care about the people, but you'll
Most
be that
times.
most time. Yeah, most times. And then there are other people, they can't, they're gonna get attracted to that, like, oh, this brother's speaking some truths, let me follow him. You have a responsibility when you do that also. And you could just end up in the street talking about, oh, the crackers don't care about us, the crackers don't care about us, and that's like your whole spiel. And then you got other people behind you doing the same thing, just out in the streets, but you guys care about your people. You just going insane, spreading, looking crazy.
And with like information like that too, that's already known.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, you got to come with some new shit.
Yeah,
You got to come with some heat that people ain't used to hearing, or they don't know. You gotta channel, bro. Sis, you gotta channel, bro. And the only way you gonna channel is by opening your mind to other shit than what you know.
yeah, yeah. That's why I use that example. Something cliche that we've been saying for damn near since we've been in America. The same thing over and over again. The white man this, the white man that. All those are true, but that's old. We need something
Is it
deeper.
true? Because remember, you bring words to power, bro.
Hmm.
So niggas keep saying, "Oh, the crackers doing this to me. The crackers have this over me. Oh, the crackers doing this. White people doing this." Bro, you giving them that power by saying that shit, and then you don't ever have a solution to fixing the issue. Y'all literally just leave it as that. Oh, the crackers doing this to us. So what are we gonna do?
And you're misleading other people that are following you.
Exactly.
So it's not just you.
You're a misinformation agent.
Exactly. It's not just you. And I feel like that's important to say because that's a lot of what's coming out in this conscious community or so-called
Whining.
conscious. Whining, yeah, no solutions. It's rare we would hear solutions.
Like,
Very rare.
and that's the thing. That's why we're different.
Yes.
Because we're coming with solutions to these problems. We're not just complaining about this shit. We're just bringing it to light so that you know what's here. And then we have solutions for the motherfucker. Like last week, you were saying, how do you get through to the people?
Yeah.
Show and prove. That is what I've come to understand. Show and mother effing prove. Because when you fully have aligned yourself with the God inside you, nothing can stop you. So when they see that you have the material success, because that's what y'all really looking for, but the other people see you have the spiritual success on top of that, you've now bridged the gap between both worlds.
Here's the thing. I'm not gonna speak for everybody. I haven't seen that too often. The viewers probably haven't seen that too often where there's a person who has both. That completion.
When the last time you seen a daemon, bro?
Hmm.
Have we ever seen a completed daemon? Not in at least 400 years. So of course you're not gonna see that shit, but you're gonna see people who gotten close to that shit.
Right.
And you,
Yeah.
as the person of discernment or the knower, needs to understand. Okay, they set the bar here,
Right.
so now I'm
That's
gonna
what you
take
said,
it to
yeah.
the next step. Same way when you with the basketball players or football players, you saw Jordan take it here. LeBron said, "Okay, I'm gonna take it here." Now, in my head, LeBron still ain't the fucking best because you can't shit on the ancestors and say like,
Yeah.
yeah, this nigga's the best. But nobody has ever become the actual daemon in anything. They've just taken it a step further. So when a person takes that step to be the day man, well, I say Michael Jordan did that shit because he really revolutionized the game. But when niggas could do that shit again, yeah, that's when you can say, okay, this nigga's the best. This nigga's the number one guy. This is the person who I'm looking for to
And you
as the
shouldn't
example.
and you shouldn't shit on the other ones like you said. Like,
Exactly.
you should know I got a bar and there's somebody gonna come after me.
Message. All right, we'll be back. Message.
Gotta pay the water
We
bill.
gonna build message. All right, back again. We were building, basically explaining to y'all that just because you haven't seen something done necessarily by somebody in, let's say, even hundreds of years, doesn't mean that it can't happen again, or that you yourself are supposed to be that next step in the evolution process.
Yeah. And I notice with this, you can want to be humble, and you might feel like, hey, that seems crazy. Maybe I'm tapping into that God complex shit and just thinking I'm more than I really am. But the fact is, all of us are more than what we really think we are.
That part.
So there's truth in that. So like, yeah, bro, I'm kind of just losing my thought a lot today, bro. It's a little overwhelming.
No, we on it. We could talk about this channel I got.
Yeah, bro. Like, I feel like the channel that you got ties in perfectly in a perfect way to end this conversation, is what you were saying. Read that to the people.
Yeah, so this is a channel I got. Take it, take it or leave it if you want it. Don't really care. But I wrote down, the gods instill fear. It is mastery of the conscience when the two can move in unison. The two meaning the conscious and the subconscious, the dark and the light. The gods came to earth for a human experience. This is key, guys. While man works his whole life to be God. I'm going to just repeat that part one more time. The gods came to earth for a human experience, while man works his whole life to be God. It is only when the two paths align will you finally achieve the divine ascended path. Now, I'm going to go back to the very beginning where I said the gods instill fear.
Yeah.
All this fear that we feel inside of us, all that fake shit, all that shit is designed or put in us by this very gods we claim to be aligned with or worship. Why? Because it's like I said, or the channel that came to me. The gods came to earth for a human experience. So if they came to earth for a human experience, they're going to be stuck in whatever thing they already know. I'm not gonna say shit. I'm trying to get better with my words.
Yeah.
They're trying to, like, to be a god is a master of something, whether it be an element, a thought, fire, what have you. So when you're breaking off into something that does not involve that element or what have you, that's when that fear comes. Why? Because it's something that you don't know or have full control over. So that's going to bring what? Fear. Because you don't know how it's going to go. If you were master of it, would you be worried about it at all? Not one bit. So the gods are the ones who are instilling fear into you because they're scared. That's the ego. They are scared of what might happen if something goes wrong. You as a human know life is nothing but experiences and new shit that happens all the time. Now, the biggest things for me was when I said the gods came to earth for a human experience while man works his whole life to be God.
Talk about it.
Think about that concept, people. God only came here to learn new things, to become an even better master, to become an even better God, whatever you want to call them. But they have a certain set of skills, and now they've come to this domain, this area, to learn new skills. While you, as the human or the man, have built your whole life around trying to be something greater.
So you could be chasing your tail then.
Oh yeah,
That's kind of what.
that's wag the dog, man.
But like with everything, here comes the solution to this. What you should be doing in this case.
Exactly. Where I said it is only when the two paths align will you finally achieve the divine ascended path. So the problem with most of us, while we have a lot of these issues, and I mean issues are going to be a part of life because that's experience. But I'm talking about issues that we can't seem to solve
Yeah.
is because our our human mind is not aligned with the divine mind or the God mind. And because the two interests are not aligned, it's going to cause conflict. Same way you would in any group. Say you and one person were in a group, but y'all have different ideas on how to do a project. You're not going to get the shit done. Because you're going to be trying to do the project your way, and they're going to be trying to do it their way. And it is only when the two of you have built an actual bridge in your thoughts and said, okay, well, you want this and I want this. So in order for us both to achieve this together, we got to do it like this. If you haven't built out a plan to execute what you want in life, you're never going to achieve that shit. Because the God in you is here to have fun. The God in you is here to just try new things. And if you're sitting there your whole life trying to not do new things, trying to just follow what somebody else did all the time, it's never going to go correctly for you. I promise you.
And when you say make a plan, I know a lot of the viewers, they probably, and even me, I felt like my whole life has been trying to make plans. But when you do the work, and however long that takes, because this isn't something you're gonna do tomorrow, or maybe you can, where you can make this plan and actually
You can
have
do
it
that shit
fulfilled.
tonight.
What, like, the fulfillment of it? I know as humans, you, especially in the society we have now, is like microwave everything. I want it now. I want to make this plan, and I want the God and the goddamn human to align tomorrow at 12:29 p.m. Nigga, like that's what I want, but it's not gonna happen like that. It might take you a little time. It might not.
It's not going to happen because you didn't create a plan to get there.
Yeah.
You just wanting something is not a plan.
And here's the thing with, like I'm saying, plans. You know, you make plans all your life. You guys have made plans for this, but a, a actual real plan, like a real plan for your life, not just your life here, but like in the next, like the real plan. I don't think a lot of us have made that
I
plan.
think the real plan for the next life is to just like to have that new skill or the new skill set to add to your repertoire when you back in oneness. But here right now, you need to have a fully written out plan to figure out what you want in life and to how to go about achieving that. You can't just sit there and say, "Oh, I want $1 million," and you don't have a plan to get that $1 million, and not some harebrained scheme like I'm gonna go rob a fucking bank or some stupid shit. No, an actual plan that can actually work and benefit you. Because you can write out a dumb plan like, "Oh, I need $1,000, so I'm gonna just rob a nigga." Okay, you can rob a
Or I'm
nigga.
just gonna finesse niggas.
But either which way, all that shit's gonna come back to bite you. Why? Because your plan has a detriment to somebody else. And you remember what I was saying last week? That's how you know if your shit is correct, like you're moving correctly, or you're just being a pompous asshole. Does this shit that the God complex is the shit that I'm thinking or the shit that I want to do hurt other people in the process? And if it's hurting other people in the process, you're doing it wrong. Because we all came down here to experience. And if you're fucking up somebody else's experience, you leave yourself susceptible to getting got by different shit.
Yeah.
It's really just that simple. But we only got like a couple minutes left, so we gonna cut it one more time, and then we gonna head to the science of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So peace to the queens, peace to the kings. We out. All right, one more again, one more again. Right, so we at this section of the show. Well, we asked, what's the science of the day, man? And today,
It's April 21st.
April 21st, which is culture, freedom, wisdom, knowledge. Now, what does that mean to me?
I mean, we're usually speaking to our culture, the black cult.
Yeah, trying to free them.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's what this whole month has
I
been
mean,
about. This whole war this month has been about freeing our people from the culture.
yeah, and you're giving solutions. You know, with that plan, I think we could elaborate a little more on that because it's a beautiful thing, bro. When you sit down and you learn how to make a plan and talk about how you made this plan and some of the benefits you're already receiving. Because it could kind of sound like you telling a nigga who just been sitting on the couch eating Cheetos, get up off your ass right now and go work out. The nigga not gonna do it now, but you can take steps, the little wins. So
I mean,
yeah,
that's
it's
on them though.
that's the wisdom of it, the knowledge too. You know.
I mean, they could always get up off their ass now. You can't just say they ain't gonna do it. It's all about your drive.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have drive for your shit, you ain't gonna win.
Mm-hmm.
But
And it's not hard to find that drive, bro. Every one of us, especially you viewing, like you might be in a situation where you feel like, hey, I don't have any drive, any motivation. Yes, you do. We all do.
but I guess that wisdom knowledge part comes into, like you were saying, like how you you want to hear it from other people who've actually experienced
Experienced
it.
it, yeah,
So
yeah,
we're experiencing this shit
yeah,
now, and we're
yeah.
giving the knowledge to you.
Oh yeah.
So we're breaking free from all this rhetoric and these so-called ways that we've learned to live life for the past, what, 100 years, maybe 120, yeah, at most. So when we break free from that, we could build back and go back to that Godhead, or become the day man again, before there was slavery. Because we we not gonna let this idea go where, especially black Americans, think that they can't fathom a time before slavery. Nigga, we were rulers of this planet. Even if you weren't necessarily deemed royalty as a king or a queen, we had more power than we had now. We didn't have all these conveniences like TV, these electric stove, microwave, all this shit holding us back. So what did we have to do? We had to use our minds and tap into that true energy, or you were not going to survive. And now, because this survivability shit is not instilled in us, because they say to survive now, what do you have to do? Get a job,
Hmm.
work 9 to 5, all
Pay your
this shit.
bills, take care of your family, which you should
Exactly.
do, what you gotta
Which you
do.
should do, but that's not conducive to you building anything.
Right. That's not when we say make this plan. That's only small parts of the. Nobody's gonna tell you to get up and piss and wash your hands and brush your teeth.
Yeah,
Nigga, of course you're gonna do that shit.
exactly.
But we make that a big deal, especially in our culture. That's like you're not building anything really.
Exactly. Cause,
It's
and you know why they're talking more? Because they're not building. They're just conforming. And what was the big
shit.
first thing that I wrote when we were talking that day before I got the channels? Conformity is a virus, bro. Because that virus will literally kill your imagination,
Yes.
and your subconscious all in one go, because you're not exercising that muscle anymore. You're not exercising that muscle of communication to the divine. So, of course, when it's time to actually tap back in and really do what you're supposed to do, you don't believe that shit. Why? Because your shit is atrophied and you can't tap in. You were so busy being caught up watching shit outside of you, listening to people outside of you,
Yeah.
instead of asking yourself these questions, that now you don't know how to function on a higher level.
And we talk about experience. I've experienced that. Everything he just said, I was that. I'm trying to come out of that. We've all been there. So it's possible to not be there. It's possible every day you wake up to get a step closer to thinking higher and wanting better for yourself and wanting better for the people around you. Not in the ways that we're taught, but the real way. Like we're talking about the real shit, not the bullshit that we've been fed to us over and over and over. What is it like they give you the right message but the wrong messenger or some type of shit like that. That's kind of what we've been getting. Doing all the right shit the wrong way.
There you go.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, like you watching this, if you've been watching every episode we've been dropping, you're already on your way to doing that.
Yeah,
We're all growing together, man.
yeah. You wouldn't have been on that path. Like, you wouldn't be watching us if you weren't already, like,
Yeah.
walking that path.
You wouldn't have clicked on the video, especially the titles.
You feel
Someone
me?
would have said black coat. Nigga, oh hell no, I ain't watching this shit. But
So,
then you were probably like, oh hell yeah, nigga.
exactly, looking for something more, and somebody to not guide you into getting a check. Like, I mean, I'd like a check, don't
Yeah,
get it twisted,
yeah, that we.
but that's not the end goal.
No.
The end goal is for you to gain understanding of what's going on around you, and for you yourself, that's what I want, for you to make an actual plan
Yeah.
on how to live your life and become a better version than you came as.
That check will come once you do that. That shit'll just be automatic.
Yeah, bro. You
We
just
got.
gotta let it flow free, bro.
There'll be days you get the check. There'll be days where the check don't come. How
Yeah,
you
bro.
gonna deal with the days you don't have it?
Yeah, bro.
So
And I mean, shit. I'm trying to get some money, so
yeah,
when we come with books and shit, what we're gonna be doing is having like an Amazon affiliate link if we do bring up books,
yeah.
so that you could go back and read these things for yourself, and then let us get a little cash on the side too for just sending you that way. But as far as like, oh yeah, come put in my cash. Nah, bro.
Put my cash up and my Zelle is at the bottom.
Like, nah, bro.
Nah, bro. I feel like
Nah,
that
bro.
shit'll just come, man.
Yeah, bro. So, with that, I will say, once again, peace to the Negus, peace to the Vedas, peace to the Devas, peace to the Book of the Dead,
Mm,
all of
that's a
them.
new one.
Not because the Rig Veda is a book. So if I'm saying peace to the Vedas,
Peace to the book of the dead,
peace to
man.
the Book of the Dead, peace to the Bible, peace to the Quran, peace to all these books that are supposed to actually help build us
So,
up.
think you low key gave niggas on game on what books to read, like together.
Amen.
Like start with the Bible or the Quran, but read them all, bro.
Yeah, bro, and keep building. But with that, much peace and love. This has been IL Moldune,
It's BSR KEM.
and we out this bitch.
Sold by the sound.